Hello everyone, my name is Vineet and I am an advocate by profession. Babulal Vardarji Gurjar. Babulal Vardarji Gurjar is the latest case in the arena of limitation law with respect to IBC after BK Educational Services and Hargovind by the way. Coming to the facts of the case, the appellant Babulal Vardarji Gurjar, who has been the director of Veer Gurjar Aluminium Industries Private Limited, took loan from the Indian Overseas Bank, and that debt was later assigned to JM Financial Assets Restructuring Company Private Limited. On 3rd March of 2018, the restructuring company filed an application before NCLT for the initiation of CARP. NCLT, after considering the submissions made by both the parties, admitted the application and appointed an interim resolution professional. Later on, even NCLAT upheld the same. Thus, the present case was brought before Supreme Court. In both the applications made before NCLT and NCLAT, it was explicitly mentioned that the date of default was 8th July 2011. It was contended by the corporate data that these proceedings had been initiated with the sole aim of browbeating and forcing it to pay the unrealistic claim of applicant. The basic issue involved in this matter is whether the application made by the respondent under Section 7 of the code is within the limitation or not. The period of limitation that governs the application seeking the initiation of CARP is governed by the Article 137 of the Limitation Act, which means the limitation period is 3 years from the date of right to apply occurs. This principle was laid down by Supreme Court in Gaurav Hargovind by Dave case. The Supreme Court in this court has held that one of the main objectives of the code is to bring the insolvency law in India under a single unified umbrella with the object of speeding up of insolvency process by maximizing the assets and maintaining the balance of interest among all the relevant stakeholders of the code. Therefore, it's a beneficial legislation who puts corporate debtor back on its feet, not being a mere recovery legislation for the creditors. The Supreme Court also held that the trigger point for the initiation of CARP is the date of default on the part of corporate debtor, which implies that the right to apply occurs under the code on the date of which the default occurs, which means the date on which the debt is due and payable is not paid. Therefore, as per Article 137 of the Limitation Act, which is applicable to IBC, if the default has occurred 3 years prior to the filing of application, then that particular debt will be treated as a time-barred debt, except in those cases where the delay can be condoned under Section 5 of the Limitation Act. With this, the Supreme Court has also made clear that even though the debt is secured by means of mortgage, the limitation period would be restricted only to 3 years. And it is because of two main reasons. Firstly, the application filed under Section 7 of the Code is not for the purpose of enforcing the mortgage. And secondly, Article 62 of the Limitation Act, which states that the period of limitation of the enforcement of the mortgage is 12 years, is meant only for the purpose of initiation of suits, and the same cannot be applied to the application filed under Section 7. And it also reiterated the fact that there is no equity when it comes to Limitation Act. Here in the present case, the date of default mentioned as per creditor is 3rd March of 2011, which is clearly barred by the limitation. But however, the creditor has pleaded that the debt was acknowledged by the corporate debtor in its balance sheets and other annual reports. They have also argued that the corporate debtor has offered a one-time settlement in the previous year only, and thus they are not barred as per Section 18 of the Limitation Act, which states that whenever an acknowledgement to the debt is made, the fresh period of limitation will be made available to the creditor. But however, the Supreme Court held that in the application for initiation of CARP made by the creditor under Section 7 of the Code, there is not even a single mention about the acknowledgement of debt or any other date of default other than the 3rd March of 2011. Limitation is a mixed law, and whoever wants an extension of time should plead relevant facts and adduce requisite evidence. Coming to the present case, there was no pleading from the creditor in the application. Therefore, the submission sought to be developed on behalf of the respondent at a later stage cannot be permitted, as they are barred by the principles of constructive res judicata. Therefore, the Supreme Court held that the application filed by the creditor is time barred, and the proceedings undertaken therein after the admission of CARP application by NCLT could be of no effect. But it has also mentioned that this particular order therefore does not have any effect on the proceedings under SARFAC or any other act. Thank you.
Stay tuned to We Listen by subscribing to our podcast.